Welcome team, my name is Erkan. I'm the instructor today for virtualization, and we will discuss types and benefits of virtualization. At the end of this slideshow, we will have two breakout rooms, one for Mac devices, other Windows devices, and we will make installation with the VirtualBox, Kali, and UTM. For UTM, we will install the UTM on Mac devices, and VirtualBox will be installed in Windows devices, and Kali both. We will make the installation of Kali, and we will show what are the steps, which steps you are gonna make during this installation. And we will discuss first virtualization and virtualization types and the benefits of virtualization. We will dive deep into virtualization, and now how it transforms the computing we will learn today together. Here we go. Virtualization types and benefits. Now our agenda is what's virtualization, traditional virtualized systems, how virtualization work, the role of hypervisor. And we have two types of hypervisor, type 1 and type 2. And today we will work with type 2 hypervisor, and we will learn what it is and the benefit of virtualization, part 1 and part 2. We will learn the benefits of virtualization together today. Okay. Introduction to virtualization. So I would like to know if you work with the virtual machines and if you have virtual machine on your device. Just put plus sign, thumbs up. Let's see in the Zoom chat if you have it. And then if you don't, anyway, we will do it together. So Melvin has, I think. Irfan has. Sierra has. Okay, you are good. You have already used the virtual machines, right? Anyone else? Just three of them? Okay. So we'll make the introduction to virtualization. All right. Let's start with the basics. What is virtualization? What is virtualization? Imagine you have a physical object like a car, okay? Your own car, like a car. And virtualization is like creating a software-based version of that car. Creating software-based version of that car. Okay, software you cannot touch and feel it. Okay, but hardware, car, you can touch and feel it. Instead of needing a physical car, okay, car is physical, right? You can use touch, drive. You have a digital version that you can use for your daily purposes. Okay, this applies to computer, storage, and networks. It's something like you can apply this to computers, storage, and network. So what does it mean of this? So you have virtual machines, you have virtual storage, and you have virtual network. When we put the word in front of those three words, virtual computer, virtual storage, and virtual network. Now you can think the virtual machine is like a translator. It's like a translator. Virtualization takes the physical hardware and hides the complex details, and it allows software to run smoothly. Okay, so this is virtualization, and we call it abstraction. So virtualization takes the physical hardware and hides the complex details behind, and it allows software to run smoothly. We call it abstraction. So the software will independent of the specific hardware when you virtualize it? Will it be independent? Just put in chat. I'm monitoring your chat screen, Zoom chat screen. So we would like to get this class as interactive as possible. So it's gonna be independent, right? Yes or no? What do you think, folks? Put it in the Zoom chat. Type something. Let's see. Are you with me, guys?
I wish we could make a poll, abi, but unfortunately it's not available, I believe, in our Zoom.
Okay, now there is no poll here. Just I'm trying to see on the Zoom chat. No worries. So yes, this is the it makes software independent of the specific hardware as well. So let's give some examples. Let's give some examples for virtual machines. Let's discuss it together. So virtual machine VMs, we call it VM. Excuse me, let me check my VM, virtual machine, okay? Virtual machine. You run Windows, Linux, Mac operating system, all on one computer, right? So I have my MacBook Pro in front of me. I'm running the Mac OS. And each operating system runs in its own virtual VM, like separate rooms in a house. So when we talk about the VMs, when we talk about the virtual machine, we said that each operating system run its own virtual machine, okay? So when we install UTM today on our Mac device, so am I able to run my own virtual machine? Yes. I will install Kali Linux as an example on the UTM device, and then I will utilize the Kali Linux on my Mac device. So it's like separate rooms in a house. So it's my house. I have Mac operating system here. I install UTM virtual machine. Under the UTM, we will put the Kali Linux. This is another operating system that I can utilize today. So under my operating system, I can run another operating system. We call it virtual machine. So we will try to understand how it works. Okay. Another example is virtual storage. Virtual storage. Okay. Virtual storage. Imagine combining multiple hard drives into one big storage device. Let's say you have 1 terabyte hard disk, and you will combine those 1 terabyte hard disk, and then you are going to make them one big storage, okay? Let's say 30 gigabit storage. But it's going to be virtual storage. It's going to be virtual storage. It makes it easier to manage and use storage, okay? It's going to make it easier to manage and use storage. What about virtual networks? Let's talk about a little bit virtual networks. Virtual networks. Virtual networks. You can create software-defined networks. So these are the software-defined, where you can configure and manage network connections. So you can configure and manage network connections. So you don't need physical cables. For this virtual network, no need physical cables, right? Why? Because they are virtual networks. What about the efficiency of virtualization? So virtualization lets you use your hardware more effectively. Instead of having many underutilized physical machines, you can consolidate them into fewer, more powerful ones. So this is the efficiency of virtualization. So today's world, virtualization is essential in cloud computing. Okay, cloud computing. Virtualization is essential for cloud computing. You rent virtual servers and you use them, right? Anyone here from this team do you have any, did you rent any virtual server before? Any experience here? Let's share with us in Zoom chat. Let's see if you have. It's also important in data centers, okay? Data centers. We are using virtual machines, and you can manage a large number of servers, okay? You can manage large number of servers. So basically, we will make the definition and we'll talk about the examples of virtualization, and we mention a little bit the efficiency. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, now let's compare how things used to be with how they are now thanks to virtualization. So we have traditional systems and versus virtualized systems, right? What about traditional systems here? It says one server, one application. In the past, if you needed an email server, or web server, or database server, you need 3 separate physical servers. So you need 3 separate physical servers. I don't know if you bought any server for your company, but I did it. So the basic one, it starts with 4K or 5K. It's pretty expensive, right? With the licenses included. And imagine 3 boxes, each representing 1 server. So here we go. One of them is email, one of them is web server, one of them is database server. You are buying 3 physical servers. One for email, one for web, one for database. And this is inefficient, right? This is going to be inefficient. And this setup wastes resources, takes up a lot of space. So you have a server room and you are putting email server, web server, and database server, 3 different devices in your server. It takes up a lot of space and consumes a lot of energy. Plus, maintaining all these servers is expensive, right? Maintaining those servers will be so expensive. What about virtualized systems now? Instead of traditional ones, now we will talk about virtualized systems. So one powerful server, here we go. We have in the picture here, we have a physical hardware, one powerful server, okay? We have our powerful server here. And running multiple virtual machines. Yes, we have hypervisor. It can be type 1 for the enterprise and big companies. And now we have virtual machines under one physical server, okay? Each VM runs its own application and operating system. So let's say we have here Windows operating system, and the other one, the VM1, let's see 2, it has Linux operating system, okay? And each VM runs its own application and operating system. What about the flexibility? When we go with the virtualized system, each virtual machine can run a different operating system. As in the example, it says Windows operating system, Linux, Unix on the same physical server. So we have one server, but 2 different operating systems. And when it comes to benefit, you save money, reduce space, and make management easier as well. So all in one hand, right? And each virtual machine is isolated here. So this one is, let's say, virtual machine 1 will be isolated from virtual machine 2. If one virtual machine, let's say your virtual machine 1 crashed, it won't affect the others. It's like having separate apartments in building. Separate apartments in building. This one will not affect the other apartments. So it doesn't affect the others. Okay? Are we good, folks? Let's put plus sign. And let's see your thumbs up. Am I doing good? If you have any questions, just put it in the Zoom chat, and then Halil Bey will help us answer all the questions, by the way. Let's go ahead to the next slide. How virtualization work? Let's make it bigger a little bit. How virtualization works. Let's get into mechanics of how virtualization does its magic, okay? So first, consolidation, okay? Consolidation. So the key is consolidation here. Why? We take many physical servers and combine them into fewer and more powerful server, okay? Here is an example here. I put a virtual machine here. We have virtual machine 1 and 2 and 3. We have app, and we have operating system included, and hypervisor, host operating system, and host hardware. Now, this is our powerful server. Software called a hypervisor creates a virtual environment. So this hypervisor will create the virtual environment. It helps us create the virtual environment, and we will discuss it later in this presentation. Each virtual machine gets its own virtual hardware. So what do they need? Basically, each one, let's say virtual machine 1, have CPU, RAM, and storage, right? And storage. VM2 as well, CPU, RAM, storage. And you can change the CPU capacity, RAM capacity, and storage capacity as well. It's up to your need. It's like building a mini computer inside the main computer. So it means like you are building a mini computers, okay, inside the main computer. This is the main computer. Virtual machines run independently as if they were separate physical machine. It's like they are separate physical machine. So the hypervisors acts as a traffic cop. So hypervisor has a critical role here, folks. Let me clean this part and see the hypervisor. Let me change the color, the fancy red. Here we go. We have hypervisor. So hypervisor acts as a traffic cop. Okay. Traffic police, whatever you call it. And it manages how hardware resources are shared among virtual machines. It makes sure each virtual machine gets what it needs. Each virtual machine gets what it needs. And each virtual machine is a self-contained package, okay? We call it self-contained package. Each virtual machine is a self-contained package. And it means that if one virtual machine has problem, let's say virtual machine 1 has a problem, okay? It won't affect the others. It won't affect virtual machine 2 and 3. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. The role of hypervisor. The hypervisor is the heart of virtualization. Why? Because it's here, look. And we have hardware, and this is the type 1 hypervisor. We have different, let's say this one is Windows virtual machine. And let's say this one Mac, this one Unix. We have 3 different virtual machines, but hypervisor is the heart of virtualization. Let's break down its role. A hypervisor is a software that creates and manages virtual machine, okay? That creates and manages the virtual machine. VM1, VM2, VM3. What are the key functions of the hypervisor? Creating and running virtual machine, allocating and managing hardware resources, and providing a virtual hardware interface. Okay, and think of the hypervisor as a hypervisor is like, again, the traffic cop, as we said in the previous slide, at the busy intersection. Okay, I'm here, I'm managing, I direct the traffic resources to where it needs to go. This is my role in the middle of the busy intersection point. I am just directing the traffic to where it needs to go. So where does it sit in between? So the hypervisor sits between the physical hardware, okay, and the virtual machine cell as well, as you see on the presentation. It's essential layer that makes virtualization possible as well. Let's talk about the first type of hypervisor, type 1. So type 1 hypervisor run directly on the hardware. Okay. Type 1 hypervisor run directly on the hardware without an underlying operating system. Okay. Without underlying operating system, it can run directly on the hardware. They are like the foundation of a house. So it's like the foundation of a house. Just make it clear. What is the advantage? This provides high performance, security, and efficiency as well. What are the examples of type 1 hypervisor? VMXSI, Strix Xen Server, and Microsoft Hyper-V. Have you used VMware XSI or any other example of type 1 hypervisor? So I got this course from, I forgot the name of the college at this time, from one of the community college. And it took me just 3 months to learn VMware XSI, how to install, how to manage, how to control. So if you'd like to learn more about this type 1 hypervisor, you can find many courses in universities, community colleges, wherever you want. You can get your own certificate or completion certificate or your education and course as well. What is the use case? They are typically used in data centers, okay? They are typically used in data centers and enterprise environments. Now next, type 2. Type 2 hypervisor run as an application on the top of existing operating system. Yes, today, what we are going to do now today, we will get our machine, Windows machine, or we will get our machine, and we will use type 2 hypervisor, VirtualBox, or UTM. Okay, and we are going to install Kali. We are going to install Kali to VirtualBox or UTM device. These are the example. We have also VMware Workstation. I have one Windows device here, and it has VMware Workstation Professional, and I installed the Kali as well. It's working properly. So I work with UTM, VMware, and Oracle VirtualBox. It's working good. It's working efficiently. And the advantages of type 2 hypervisor is ease of use and convenience for personal use as well. So they are commonly used for software testing, development, and personal use for type 2 hypervisors. And the next one, benefits of virtualization. Let's talk about the advantages of virtualization. So The first one is cost saving. Cost saving. Why? Because it reduced hardware costs. You need fewer physical servers. You don't need more physical servers. No need more physical servers. Okay. And lower energy consumption. Fewer servers mean lower energy bills. Okay. No need to more electricity. Less cooling required as well. So these are the cost saving items for virtualization. And the second one is reduce floor space. Fewer physical servers needed. So this frees up valuable data center space. So more efficient use of data center space as well. And smart maintenance and management, centralized management of virtual machine, easier patching and updates. You can update virtual machine more easily, and you can manage all of your virtual machines from one place. Benefits of virtualization. Let's continue with the easy portability of virtual machines. So virtual machines can be easily moved between physical servers. Facilitate load balancing and disaster recovery. And it's gonna maximize hardware utilization, prevents wasted resources, full utilization of a machine's computing capability. Okay. And the last benefit, just on the screen here, improved disaster recovery. Improved disaster recovery. Virtual machine can be easily backed up and restored. Reduce downtime in case of hardware failure. Okay. So InfoSec Labs, the founder Halil Barış, Halil Hocam. Thank you for InfoSec Labs. We have our security operations center, and you can manage and control SIEM tool, EDR tools, and the other tools we are installing, and we are improving our security operations center. And Halil Barış is the founder of InfoSec Labs. He is the cybersecurity lead and enthusiast. Also, you can follow us in LinkedIn. My name Erkan. So I am in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm the instructor. I have these certifications, CEH, CTI, and CSAP as well. So tonight we shared with you what the virtualization is, the benefits and the types of virtualization. Now we will have our breakout rooms to install Kali Linux and VirtualBox or UTM if you have Mac device. Thank you. Halil Hocam.